Is the camera rolling? All right, great. So now we've got into the part where we teach you how to create memorable content for LinkedIn. Now, your content does not have to be on a particular topic. You can speak about what interests you as an individual and as a person. You can talk about finance, technology, sports, or even healthcare, as long as you know that what you're putting out there is of interest to your audience, as well as further enhances your brand that you want to create for yourself. Now, what is memorable content, you might ask? Well, this can be measured by several factors that LinkedIn would judge as memorable content. This can come from your likes, your comments, or maybe even the number of new connections you get after making this post. So, how do you start? You first have to understand your audience. What kind of connections have you built since you started using LinkedIn? Are your connections more students than professionals? Are they more interested in finance? Are they more interested in law? Once you find out these factors, you can put that into creating your content that speaks to your audience. Now, what are some of the great hallmarks of great content that I've seen on LinkedIn and you've probably seen as well? Well, how about the use of hashtags? Now, hashtags can be used on multiple platforms. You've seen it on Instagram, you've seen it on Twitter. This also can be used on LinkedIn to ensure that your post reaches the right people that you want it to reach. Another factor that you can consider when making your post is the use of pictures. LinkedIn has become a platform where you can write or speak, use videos, or even use pictures to further augment your post and give it a little bit more context that can hold and keep the attention of your audience. Some other great representations of content that I've seen is the use of questions. That is when you, as an author, ask your audience some great questions as to a topic that you're talking about. Something else that you can use is a call to action. So if you're making a post and you want to galvanize people to act on a certain cause, you want them to do something, you want them to change parts of their lives, you want them to understand something new, you can use a call to action, or you can even tag people that are relevant to the post you're making. These are some of the great ways that you can ensure that when you do post something on LinkedIn, you can generate engagement, you can generate likes, you can generate comment, and possibly expose your content to a much larger audience than your immediate first and second connections. Now, we're going to look at some examples of great memorable content that I've seen on LinkedIn. An example that I'm going to use is one from our co-founder, Stephanie. So here I have a post from Stephanie, like I mentioned earlier. Stephanie is a second-year law student at the University of Houston, and she makes a post regarding some of the experiences she had as a first-year law student. Now, notice how Stephanie's post was targeted to a particular audience that she has a personal connection with. Now, when I say this, I don't mean for you to create content that you're not interested in just to speak to a particular audience. No, you can create content that speaks to you as well as your audience, as long as you can find one common denominator. In this case, she uses her degree or a major, which is law. Now, let's take a look at some of the key factors that I can point out in this post. Stephanie talks about the supplies and items that she used that helped her conquer a first year like a pro. Now, she mentions organization, productivity. She mentions examples of supplements that she used that were extremely helpful. What can you see in this post that speaks to some of the factors I mentioned earlier? One, you can see that she speaks to a particular audience that their interests align. Two, she uses hashtags. She shares some thoughts and insights that speak to her audience and not just accomplishments. So we've looked at a post from Stephanie and seen some common denominators in memorable posts. You can go on your LinkedIn right now, look at your audience and create something that speaks to them and speaks to your brand. Now, if you consider all of the factors that we talked about in this video and create something for yourself, I guarantee you that can be regarded as memorable content.